Good morning, fellow Forex traders. Let's get started. Monday morning, eclipse day, coffee in hand. I'm ready for this. We're going to go over the trades that have played out, that are playing out. Slow down, drink some coffee, and give you a little bit of a heads up on a ton of changes coming this week. And all good stuff, right? Always getting better. I'm chomping at the bit to kind of tell you what I want to do because I'm excited about it. And I'll give you some basics along the way here. Before we get started, we're looking at the free signals. I just closed an AUDCHF this morning at a $92 profit. And that's been hanging in there for a while. We will look at that. I attempted my recovery algorithm on that particular currency pair. It did not go well. So everything else that has happened with AUDCHF, I have manually manipulated. And as expected, AUDCHF has chunked down to just sideways. I've got some buys up at the top. I've got some sells down at the bottom. And it's going nowhere. But patience. Patience. I keep telling everybody, if you want speed and high profit along with high risk, you jump into my high profit auto feed. And we had a really nice gold trade this morning. We're in and out of them, right? It's win or lose, mostly win, and you're in and out of those trades. One of the things I want to do is, and I'm going to do in the big change, I'm going to do a video this week. And I will do a full presentation on all of the changes, how it affects you, and how it will affect you will all be positively. I'm just making changes and not making changes to make changes for the hell of it. What I'm doing is I'm simplifying what we're doing because I'm spending a lot of time on a lot of extraneous things. Been doing a lot of beta testing, so on and so forth. Probably if you look at all of the different things, we got free signals, premium signals, high profit auto feed with the main auto feed. And then the main auto feed is split into 2 or 3 different things. I get it. I'm a tester. I evolve a lot, but I got to take that away from you guys. And when I say take it away from you guys, just simplify it. Put everything's going to be in like one, right? We're going to have trades that we monitor and follow through the week. We'll have the auto trading, and it's really going to simplify the whole thing. Anything that you're plugged into right now doesn't change. However, moving forward, when someone comes in, there are going to be limitations in terms of them not getting 87 different things, and I'm kind of bad about that. I love the dopamine hit of doing just a ton of things. So one thing I'm going to ask you is, and I want to try something out today, is if you would, obviously you're watching this on YouTube. If you're on YouTube in the live chat, give me some comments. And I believe I have the ability to start putting comments up on the screen so you guys can see what people are saying, who's saying what, so on and so forth. So give me a comment, give me a good morning, give me something, and I'm going to see if I can share it up to the screen. So the other thing I'm going to do is our morning live sessions, these sessions, are going to I'm really going to work on making them a lot more valuable, more structured. We're going to spend a dedicated amount of time on what you could do with the trades that are in play right now, what you could do. And that means looking at the signals. Right now we call them free signals, premium signals. And in the future, I'm probably just going to get away, maybe get away from the word signal, but it's just going to be a trade. Like, here's the trade that we're doing. Here's the open trade. Here's a free trade, type of thing. And you might ask, and I'll be transparent with you, why? Obviously you got to constantly evolve. But one of the important things I want to do is I want to grow this group. Everything up to this point has kind of been beta testing to see what people respond to see how easy or difficult it is to employ different things or deploy different things. And what I want to be able to do is spend much more of my time bringing in more members. And I'm not doing that right now. I'm focusing on kind of the internal infrastructure and the processes. I mean, this is a business, right? And I always tell my friend Derek that when you're building a business as an entrepreneur, and I've built hundreds of them, I've been an entrepreneur since I was 18 years old. And one of the things you do, and my mentor taught me, is it's a metaphor. You grab a bunch of airplane parts, you strap them to your back, and you run and jump off the cliff. And on the way down, on the fall, you build the airplane. And you build it just good enough to keep yourself from bouncing off the rocks. You get a few cuts, and pretty soon you're flying. And I feel like we're flying at this point with this. It's a business model, right? This is an offering to the public. And we're starting to fly a little bit now, and we're nearing 200 members, which is very small. You know, I've told you guys I want 100,000 people. Who knows if that's necessarily possible, but I've certainly seen other groups doing a bunch of stop-loss losing trades, and they got 60,000 members in them. I'm like, what? Why are 60,000 people following these trades and they all lose? My trades don't all lose, right? We've been extremely profitable. So I'll get into that. I will be launching a video probably ASAP. This morning, I'm getting the video done pretty quick because I'm going to go out and watch this eclipse that's going to happen. Looks like a beautiful day. So free signals, I closed out that AUD CHF. In the free signals, I'm only trading one pair at a time. So nothing else has came in, and I just closed this before we went live. So you can see, like I said, I closed it. AUD CHF is... Oh, I know. I remember what I want to say, but AUD CHF is just a slow trade. So I'm chomping at the bit to say this, and I'm going to elaborate on it, but listen to me. If you're just finding this video on YouTube, or if you've been in the group, and I see you guys still aren't making a comment, make a comment, please, on the YouTube channel so I can put it up on the screen and see if this thing works. Got a little bit of a new plug-in to make this work. So I have to separate my main automated feed on standard Forex currency pairs and Forex crosses, separate that out from the high profit feed, which is gold, US 30, metals, indices. There is a very specific reason you would use and put my main automated Forex crosses, standard Forex currency pairs, trades on an account compared to the high profit. You can hear me start saying this a lot. The reason that you would use my system on standard currency pairs in terms of auto trading is you want to outpace the S&P 500. You want to make more money than a bank savings account. My system is not designed to get you rich overnight. It's designed to produce consistent, stable profits over a longer period of time. Again, my system it can and it does outpace the S&P 500. So how would you do that outside of Forex? Well, you'd go get something like an index fund, right? Or if you got the S&P 500, it's, over a 20-year period, it does pretty well. On any individual year, I think 2020 wasn't very good, minus 19%. Right now, I think we're up 9% for the year, or headed to 9%, something like that. But the point is, my system is intended to outpace a standard savings account. It's intended to outpace the S&P 500. It's intended to outpace an index fund, 8 to 10% a year. You can certainly do that with this system. You can do more than that with this system. But I think people jump into this and they jump in with a very small account because of lack of confidence, lack of funds, and they try to make that small account on these standard currency pairs generate an income on a weekly basis. And it's not designed to do that. It was never designed to do that. This was a long-term strategy. If you want income on a weekly, daily, weekly basis, you need the high profit feed. End of story. And they're two completely different entities. And it's higher risk just because of the way we trade. We trade with a stop loss on the high profit feed. It's higher risk. That's not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing at all. In fact, the system does really well. So we will look at that. I'll stop there because I've already spent 20 minutes? No, 10 minutes telling you about that. So let me pause. We're going to pull up got to move my camera there a little bit. Let's pull up the next account. I'm going to pull up my account list here. And by the way, like I said, one of the big changes I'm going to make is I'm going to get much more structured on this morning live. You'll get used to the structure. Of course, I will evolve and perfect it, but we're going to go look at what is called in the system right now premium signals. It's just my profitable standard Forex trades that get sent out and at a higher volume than let's say free is. So let's take a look at this. There's actually 3 trades open right now in premium, and I've held that back specifically because I just don't want people to have to manage a bunch of manual trades. Eventually, moving forward, we will pick a trade and focus on it to fruition, to profit. We'll pick a trade and focus on it to fruition. If we get, and here's going to be the nice thing about the new way of me doing this, if we get into a trade like AUD-CHF that goes sideways for 3 weeks, we'll get into another one, right? We'll keep it moving as opposed to just waiting for the automated system to deliver us something or close in profit. I'm gonna kind of puppeteer the whole thing and make the signals and the trades that we follow that are not automatic, that are manual signal type trades. I'm going to put more time into telling you what we're in, what you should do, how to manage them, and because the auto stuff is the auto stuff. It just works. So let me look at what has closed. I'll share this with you. Nothing closed in premium overnight. However, for the week, premium signals, you could have bid anything on these. Premium signals closed out $133.85 so far in the last 7 days worth of trading. Did just a handful of trades. And again, I have this pulled back a little bit because when you're doing these morning trades, these manual trades, I just seen Denise said morning. I repeated that. When you do these manual trades, it's really not a good idea to handle a bunch of volume. And as we move forward and I help you through and make a decision on what you could do in any standard trade that we're in, it's going to be much easier to handle it and be able to bid higher on any individual trade by focusing on that pair. So, you know what? I could run into an issue this morning where I might have to get off the live, but we'll see what happens here. I think, let me see if I can do this. I think I can put comments up on the screen. And it's not working for me. There we go. So I can put comments up on the screen. There you can see it there. That Manifesto Gold, which is Denise, said morning all. All right, so cool. And then I can click it and it's gone. Hey, check that out. I was trying to figure out how to do it. All right, thanks, Denise, for following instructions and requests and making a comment. I can put it up on screen now. All right, cool. That will also help if you guys want to ask a question. I can put it up on screen. You'll see, everyone else will see what your question is, so on and so forth. Technology is awesome. So that is premium. Now, normally I jump around to a lot of different things. I'm going to, again, be more structured in the morning. Let me take a look at some of the different accounts that we want to look at here. I will jump over to the what's called the 10 pip hybrid feed. and I'm basically stuck. Let me pull it up here. I'm basically stuck in that AUD CHF trade. But let's take a look at it, and I'll tell you what I'm going to do to get out of it. So NZD CAD down there at the bottom, just going sideways, right? Doing its thing. Hasn't entered anymore. But we got AUD CHF. I've got 2 sells at the bottom and a buy at the top, and I have done a lot of manipulation to get out of this. What I'm looking to get out of next is this buy trade. Let me get my trusty pen open here. I'm looking to get out of this buy trade because it's coming up close. As soon as I get to maybe break even on this, I'm out. And then what I'll have left is these 2 sell trades. And if you look at the chart, you can see here, probably got to go to the day. You can see we're literally nearly break even. And then I've got these 2 sell trades down here. So I'm probably going to have to add some sort of hedge. I'm probably, this has just been going up, up, and up. I'm probably going to wait for a pullback and then enter a buy so I can get closer to the sell. Or if I get enough of a pullback to get out of this sell right here, I'm going to do it. I'm just manipulating this, and it's a slow mover. This could take a week or 2 to get out of. It is what it is. I'm having patience. A part of me just wants to close this entire thing out and move on, but we're gonna play it out. We're gonna play it out. One thing that might help, I know everybody got into this trade, and it's probably different on everyone's account. Let me know where you're at. Give me a screenshot in the group. I'll take a look at it. If you look at the main feed, you'll notice that I pretty much have these 3 or 4 left. Every account I've had AUD CHF on, I've manipulated individually, right? We can go look at the feed, and maybe we will, and see what's actually left with AUD CHF. This is really holding it back. But I'll tell you what, I have different things. I used to really stress about this because I was like, come on, man, I need to make some money. I need some momentum. And the way that I think now, and you're going to see that this will fit right into your own trading. You'll see what I'm about to come up with this week. If I'm wanting to make money, this feed is not a daily moneymaker. It can be given certain market conditions, but this feed is intended to back out and look at it over a 12-month period. It really is. If you want the money maker daily, you're going to take more risk, but you'll be plugging into the high profit feed. And in fact, that's a good segue right into, let's look at the history real quick here. So for the week, $2,218. That's pretty good. What has closed here, and I'm bidding a decent amount, but this is the 10 pip hybrid. I'm going to give you a hint. 10 pip hybrid will be suggested as a replacement for trading the full feed. You're probably, if you're not an experienced trader, if you're brand new and you're coming in, I'm not going to give you the full feed, not in the way that you would think. If you have it right now, you keep it, great. You do whatever you want. But the 10 pip hybrid has proven, other than my screw up trying to recover AUD CHF with some automated algorithm, it was a wrong pair to do it with anyway, but it was also pretty much the wrong way to do it. And I couldn't see that until I hit the button and let it play out, right? Now I know exactly what to do. And in fact, in the future on the 10 pip hybrid, as it's trading and something goes farther than I want it to, I can easily, on the 10 pip hybrid, which is what we're looking at, manipulate it and manually trade out. Just do some simple little mathematics and manually trade out of a currency pair that's gone farther than I really want it to. And it's easy. I'm not managing, 18 different accounts. I'm managing this one. I hit a button, right? And the algorithm is good, but frankly, to save a trade, from going too deep. It's as simple as doing an equal and opposite trade. So if all I had was these two AUD chief trades at a 0.15 each, and it was going farther than I wanted it to, I would simply place a trade at 0.30, or maybe more specifically 0.31. So $3.10, which is the hedge of $3 and then 10 cents more. And the point is, the moment it continues to go against, it goes against these sell trades, in whatever direction it goes against them, with that extra 0.01 on top of the hedge, it will go into profit. The idea is not to try to trade one side against the other side. It's to simply, and I'll erase this, to use this hedge as protection for it going against, and guess what we know it's going to do? It's going to come back. So the moment this thing goes into profit, cool, and when it comes back at break even, you get out. So you still only have these two, and they're going to go in the direction that the algorithm originally said. Is really not that hard, right? When I was doing the recovery with the zone recovery, where it goes up and does a buy and down and sell, up and buy, down and sell, and then eventually it profits one direction, the problem with that is AUD-CHF loves to go sideways forever and then fake out and then go the other way, right? So the problem with that is you get in a bunch of buy, sell, buy, sell, buy, sell, buy, sell, and then you overwhelm your account, which is what you were trying to avoid anyway. One hedge with a little bit more lot size on it, so you can profit a little bit faster as it goes against, and as it comes back to break even, you just get out. And in fact, there's some automated tools where I can just click a button and it will do that, and it will go into profit. It'll come back to break even, get the hell out, go in the original direction of the trade, and it's really simple. I made it a little complicated with the algorithm. I love automation, right? So it is what it is. Speaking of that, let's switch, and I'll go right over to some gold. Let me show you the base high profit trade that came in today, and then we'll jump back and look at basically the main pairs and what kind of volume and stuff is on those. So let me pull this up here. It is going to be this one. Currently in no trade. However, high profit wise, and this was just, think of this is an automated signal that goes out at a base dollar lot size. So it made $17.88. I'll show you, like I always do, you bid what you want on this, right? This is just a base signal. Now, I send it out at a base dollar. If you look at the standard currency pairs, I send it out at a base 10 cents, 0.01. And then you bid if you're doing automatic trading, you bid a multiply factor. That was a message I was looking for. I might check that out in a second here. Nonetheless, this is really good. Now, let me show you this exact same trade across a couple of accounts, or at least another one, right? So exact same trade, signal, it's an automated, so it goes out, it's automated. I call it a signal. It sends the signal to your account, and your account is set at a multiply factor, and it bids what it wants. So let's pause here, and I'll show you an account where I simply bid more. Oh, we're in a US 30 trade right now. Give me a second. I need to look at this real quick. So we're in a US 30 trade. I want to see what's going on. Stand by. High profit trading is happening as we speak. So we're in a buy. Interesting. Okay, that's looking good. So anyway, that's what the notification was. So we're in a US 30 trade. Let me come back to what I wanted to show you, which was basically the gold trade that we took this morning at simply a higher lot size. And boy, am I having trouble with my eyes finding the account. Here it is. Stand by, it's connecting. Okay, here we are. So I closed out this AUD CHF trade this morning, which, I was holding on to in this account at a $9,000. I mean, I was bidding $300 a pip, right? So don't pay too much attention to that. But here's the exact same gold trade that we made $17 on in the basic automated account that sends the signal out automatically. And I bid a $30 lot size on this one and made $556 and $10.80. So about, $566. So bid more, make more, right? If you can risk more, if you have a bigger account or a big enough account, then you can bid more. Mark says it just launched. Yeah, I seen the notification, but it didn't scream at me. It just kind of flashed up on the screen. I might have my sound off on it. All right, so we'll see what happens with US 30. One thing I need to do, as a matter of fact, I'm going to pause. I've got that US 30 trade on one of my own accounts. I want to see how it's hitting the margin level percent. Yeah, it's got me. I'm definitely pushing the limits on that one. It's got me down at a 300% margin level. But hey, again, high risk, high profit. And what's nice about these high profit trades, I'm trading this on a small account, right? Even if it goes against me and hits the stop loss, it doesn't overwhelm. I'm bidding just enough to where it doesn't overwhelm the margin level percent and stop me out. So again, I'm at 300% margin level, and it looks like that trade is doing its best to go against. I mean, that's what US 30 does, right? It's somewhere in the middle of the buy area and the stop loss. Well, hopefully that's profitable. Now, let me think of which account we're going to go to next. So we looked at the gold, we looked at the hybrid. One thing I have not looked at, and we will look at this real quick. And by the way, in the morning, I'm going to start consolidating a lot of these accounts. We're going to look at a lot less accounts and focus on specific trades. So here it is. I've not looked at this account. So it's pretty much... Oh, actually, we can look at this. So this is the $3,000 challenge account, trading $3,000 to $100,000. We're up to $3,168, bidding 0.05. Remember, we were up to $5,500, and then I forced some losses down to $1,800. We're back to $3,168, just over a few-week period. So that's the power of this system. It does really well. I don't know what has closed. We've had 3 trades closed. And at a $15.82 profit. That's just today. It's Monday, Sunday night, Monday. And then $6.56 for the week, last 7 days. That's incredible. Like, that's really nice. That is real. That is really what you would be making on a realistic size account for your average person, and bidding and managing. And again, we've been all over the place. We've been up to $5,500 profit with this account, down to $1,800 because I specifically overbid, and this is very robust. Again, the auto trading system and standard currency pairs is truly designed to outpace the S&P 500. It's not designed to make you 10% a day. It's not. You will get burnt if you try to leverage any standard pair trading system, especially, across 22 currency pairs. You'll not do very well if you try to leverage that, where you're like, some people are like, and I was like this too. When I started, I was like, all right, I'm gonna start with a $3,000 account and I need to make $50 a day. And I would run it into the ground. And I run it into the ground for a lot of reasons, but more importantly, sitting back saying to myself, I needed income from it. If you ever want income, you've got to figure out the high profit stuff, the gold, the US 30. You've got to figure out NAS 100, right? And that's basically what we're doing with the high profit feed. Speaking of NAS 100, I've been doing some manual trades. We may look at that, but I was not happy with them. The signals I was getting last night would enter, go nowhere, and then go against. Enter, go nowhere, and then go against. Almost every signal. I ended up making some decent money this morning. In fact, we'll just pause here and I'll show you the trades. Let me show you the trades. They are right here. I don't believe we're in any trades right now. Yeah, and you're going to see, like this is a 10K account where I was taking the NAS trades last night. It's all over the place, like literally all over the place. You can see here I started out, this was that trade from Friday, closed out 442, stop loss on the next two, profit on the next two, not much stop loss on this one, 625. That was kind of like me just reading the market. Stop loss, minus $3. And then this morning, $15, $400, $150. So erratic. Up 1,192 for the day, but frankly, it was a full-time job. And what I'm going to do is pause here, and then I believe I can take you. I'll actually show you the chart. The signals was just like, could be like, and here's why I'm learning from this. It could be like Mondays or Sunday night. Monday is not a good time to trade NAS. There wasn't necessarily enough volume. So stand by. Let me see if I can pull this up on my end, and then I will share it with you. Let's see. Where is it going to be? It's going to be right here. Give me a second. Give me a second. I think I got what I want to show you here. Yeah. All right. So I'll share this with you. So we'll go here, and then we'll go here. Okay. So if I set this up so I can scroll backwards, you can see. So I took the signals that I was posting in the group were probably these first 3 or 4, and look what happened. It would enter. Actually, if you really look at it, most of them were good. I'll show you the 1 or 2 that were just losers, right? But also kind of the pattern that's happening. So I don't know if you can see my mouse, my crosshair. So when this signal paints, the candle is done. So you actually can only enter on the next candle. So in this particular case, it went 2,100 points and backed out. Would you have been smart enough to capture the 2,100 points before it backed out to stop loss and break even? Maybe, maybe not. So it's kind of a mentality, right? In fact, I see that my camera, hold on, let me fix something here. Let's come back to here. Come back. Let me fix the camera really quick so you can see my, oh, that's not working. So you can see my ugly mug. There we go. Let's try that. Let's see if that works. Is that better? It's hard for me to, there you go. So okay, here's what I did, and it was probably a mistake. I'm like, I'm going to enter this sell over here, and I'm going to get out when I get a buy signal. Well, had I done that, I would have made no money. I was up about $183 over here, and then I let it go back to the stop, and I was like, okay, probably need to think of this as a scalping function, right? Because I looked back in the past, and I'm like, well, this looks really good. I'm going to go ahead and enter a sell signal and exit on the buy signal. Didn't really work. This particular one was a loser because we entered a buy here, and it went nowhere. So that probably would have been a little bit of a loss, right? And then we got a sell trade here. It went down 4,300 points and backed out. This would have actually been pretty good had I waited for the signal. I'd have been up at least 1,500 points on this one. Now, this particular buy signal went nowhere. It basically went sideways. So that would have been break even or a slight loss. This sell signal ended up being about 2,000 points, but would you have known that that's where it's going? So maybe at that point you're like, well, I was bidding $1. This would have been about a $200 profit max. So I probably would have got out about 150, right? Unfortunately, when you get this signal, this green candle is already completely painted. So the buy signal here did end up going about 3,700 points, but you can see it backed right out. So it's like, when are you going to get out? Are you going to know to get out at 1,500 to 2,000 points? Probably not. That's the tough part. So as a degenerate gambler, one of the things I was thinking was, is like, fear of missing out, fear of entering a sell trade and getting out at 4,000 points and having it run 20,000. And because that's what my mentality was. And it's probably a mistaken mentality, because if you look at any of these as a scalp trade last night, all but one or two would have made money if I just kind of watched the volume and, on a buy, watched it go green, and as soon as it turned red a little bit, get out. If you look at this one, this was a buy that would have backed out against you about $350, and then it ran $500. So would you have known that it was going to do that, or would you have got out? Would it have hit your stop loss? That's the tough part. That's the tough part. If I'd have scalped $300-400 up to this point, would I have been comfortable with it backing out $500 against me? Probably not. Especially if I had it on a small account and I was just scalping profits. But that, if you can hang in there, right? Hindsight's 2020, not really fair. And then here was a weird one. We got this sell signal right here, and it moved down 4,800 points and then immediately shot against. So the mentality of last night, and this is why I'm doing this, is learning, maybe this method and this signal is simple, quick scalping profits. Get in, get out. $50, $100, $150, get out, right? Because I was trying to run this thing for a couple thousand. And if you go back in time, there are some trades like that. Let me show you some just at, let's go back. So this is last week. Like, here was a really nice one last Friday. got a buy signal. You would have entered on the next candle. This thing went up 23,000 pips. Points, I should say. Like, would you have known to get out there? If you got out on the sell signal, you'd have got out at 14,200 points. Like, that's what my mentality was wanting, but I wasn't going to get that delivered. Would it piss me off if I entered this and got out at a couple $100 and it went to $2,500? Yeah, but you just don't know. And none of the indications I've seen, like RSI 4 does not work on NAS 100. It really doesn't. It really doesn't. You can come back here, and this one really impressed me. I think this was Thursday afternoon. Look at this sell signal. You would have entered right here, and at the end of the day, it went down 47,300 points. At $1, that's a $4,700. I mean, that's incredible. Incredible. So I was kind of wanting that. Would I be pissed off if I got into this trade and got out at $300 and it went to 44,000 or $4,000? Yeah, I would have been, right? The only place I see this fitting in is if I'm going to send this out, I will send it out as an addition. Right now, my thinking, I will send these trades out as an addition. Look at that thing running up now. Let's see. A buy signal. Oh, in fact, that buy signal just painted and it's moved up 3,400 points. So, of course, my notifications were going off all night. Now I didn't hear a damn thing on that one. So it seems that these, especially on today, are a little late. You'd have to get into these things fast. You literally have to sit here and stare at it. So I don't know if it's that valid. I do have some other NAS bot running, which totally sucks. It literally is entering. I paid $150 for it. Is literally entering against. It enters a sell when it should enter a buy. I'm like, you guys, charging $150 for that bullshit. I also have a US 30 bot running. Paid $50 for it. Not one freaking trade on it in 2 weeks. I was like, great. You know, so you just, that's where people give up on this stuff. I'm constantly running a different bot. Constantly. All right, so let's come back here to this. And I believe, let me pause real quick and look at the account list. I believe that's really what I wanted to look at. Oh, the one other thing I'll look at is we'll look at the main automated feed account. So stand by. So just to give you a heads up, the main automated feed is at a $52 drawdown, which isn't necessarily indicative of too much, but it kind of tells you that normally the main auto feed is somewhere, let's say $100 to $300 drawdown. So $53 drawdown on, you know, across potential 22 currency pairs at minimum bid 0.01, $53 drawdown. We're currently in about 16 trades, and I'll show you the results. We have closed we've closed $22.84 worth, and we've actually closed 20 trades profitably in the auto feed in the last, you know, overnight. That's pretty damn good. That is really good. And in fact, kind of the switch up, the change up, the way that I'm going to start presenting this to you, especially those of you who, you know, have the premium signals, and more so just kind of like signals in general, you're really going to like my tiny little shift and switch that will make this just a lot better for you. So that's it. I just talked 45 minutes on a Monday morning. So that video, I can't tell you when it's going to come out this week, but it's going to come out this week. I'd like to get it done in the next couple days. Probably not today, but certainly shooting for maybe tomorrow, where I just show you, just give you like a complete update. I'm also planning, once I open up some time from simplifying our system and what we do, I'm also planning on doing a lot more YouTube live videos and instruction. And although I won't post them in the group per se, if you go subscribe to my YouTube channel, you will be notified if you want to follow along. I'm just gonna pump out content on what we're doing. I'm gonna pick one particular theme, one particular idea, hit the live button, and produce. My goal is to start producing a lot of content, and it's the best way to grow the group and also educate people and help them get out of the mind virus that they probably have from other people telling them things in the Forex industry that don't necessarily work. So that's it. Appreciate you joining me this morning. Go out there, watch the eclipse. Let's see, it's 8 a.m. for me. It starts in 2 hours, and starts in 2 hours from now, and it's going to go, at least in my area, wherever you're at, it's going to go for about an hour. So I'm just going to make myself a cup of coffee and go sit in my lawn chair and relax. So I'm here. Let me know if you need something. Cool, awesome, profitable changes coming, and I will see you inside the group. Take care.